G'day guys, Pete here from Clinic Mastery, and today we're going to be talking about this quote from physicist Richard Feynman. The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Now, I'm going to go into a few key examples of this in a second in a relation to focus, which is an area where, as clinic owners, I think we can definitely improve. But before I do that, please make sure that you like and subscribe just down below. It helps us to reach more people and to create a bigger impact. All right, now diving into this one for today, thank you very much for doing that. What did I used to fool myself? What was the story I used to tell myself that caused me to fool myself and to therefore not solve the problem, not solve the problem at hand? Now, the one for me, the key one was I don't have enough time. I need more hours in a day. So that was the lie that I used to tell myself. And the problem with that is when you tell yourself that, because words matter and phrases matter, and how we say things to ourselves really makes a big difference. So what happened when I told myself that? Well, I didn't look for solutions. I just thought, well, there's no way I can get all this done. There's no way I can be more efficient. There's no way I can actually make better use of my time. There's only so much that can get done in the day. So what happened? I didn't solve it. So what do we need to do here? And I'd encourage you to think about what are those lies that you tell yourself? How do you fool yourself? Because you are the easiest person for yourself to be fooling. Now, if we look at it for me, and I've got a few things written down here, what were the real problems? What were the things that I needed to solve, that I needed to get past this lie? The first one, I wasn't being productive enough with my time. If I just said there's not enough hours in the day, so I wasn't looking at these other solutions. So I needed to be more productive. That was a problem that needed to be solved. Now, not solving the most important problems was another thing. So I was working on work that wasn't as important as I should be working on, and I wasn't being focused enough on the problem at hand. I was trying to multitask. Now, science has shown and research has shown, and I won't quote the exact studies here, but you can go and look at it, that we are terrible at multitasking. And so if you think you're great at multitasking, you're not, unfortunately. I used to think that too. And what you need to do is one thing at a time and then do the next thing and then do the next thing. So focused, specific work. So how do we become more focused, or how did I become more focused? For me, I actually got this idea from a guy called Sam Ovens, because I really struggled with a few key things here. And rather than looking at how to improve my focus by working on specific focus training or whatever it may be, I looked at the opposite. So if you're a clinic owner, please pay attention to this because I think it may help you. Now, what is the opposite of focus? Distraction. So instead of focus, I focused on distraction. So instead of focusing on focus, we focused on distraction. Yes. Little dad joke there. So within that, I then had to go, well, if I want to be better at focusing, I have to get rid of the inverse of that, get rid of distractions. And so I looked at my workspace, I looked at my day, and I looked at how I structured my time and my work. And from there, I went, what is everything that's a distraction? And what I did was I actually kept a little journal. So I had this little iPad over here, and every time I got distracted, I would write down what was distracting me. And I would have at the end of the week a huge list of things that distracted me, including writing on the damn journal, of course, that was distracting too, but everything had been distracting me. And there were a few key things that I found distracted me. Okay. Number one, my phone. My phone, I could not be trusted around that thing when I'm trying to work. If that is near me, even with notifications off, I cannot be trusted around it. So what do I do when I want to do focused work now? I put that in another room on airplane mode. Sounds extreme, I know, but for me, that works. Okay. What was number two? Other tabs. Other tabs being open and being able to just click into other things and, oh, just check this quickly, especially Slack and emails. Those two things got me good. And then YouTube, if I was feeling a little bored and trying to procrastinate. Okay. So that was a bit of a challenge for me. So how did I solve that problem? Well, then what I did was I would only have the windows open that I was working with. Everything else was gone. And I would use a little Pomodoro timer, and I would do a 25-minute work stint, and then I'd give myself 5 minutes to waste time, 5 minutes to check that thing that I wanted to check, or to go watch that quick video or check the notification, whatever it was. But I give myself 5 minutes. So I knew that if I worked hard for 25 minutes, I could then have that 5 minutes. So now there's no other tabs. There's no phone here. What else? What else was a distraction for me? Well, other distractions I had were these things that I was thinking about in my head. So it wasn't actually physical things here. It wasn't those things, but it was actually what was running through my head. And I'm thinking about all these things that I need to do and not forget to do and make sure that I do really well. And so my solution for that one was I actually wrote it down at the start of the day. I wrote down everything that I needed to do. So I took it out of my head and I put it down on paper or on the iPad here. And once it was down there, I didn't need to remember it anymore because it was there. And once it was down, I could then group things into similar baskets, you could say. And then I could look at what needs to be done by me and what can be delegated and what can just be cut, what really doesn't need to be done at all. And I could also look at what is the most efficient and effective way to do this. I would list them in the order of what are the highest profit actions, so the things that move the needle the most, down to the lowest profit. And I would start at the top and I would work my way through. And that for me was how I became more focused and created so many more hours in the day. I would now work 3 or 4 hours less per day, but get a lot more done. And it's just from going, I need to be more focused, I need to be more productive. So I need to look at the inverse of productivity, the inverse of focus, and I need to delete those things. I need to get rid of them. If I can do that effectively and efficiently, suddenly I become more focused. So your homework, if you've made it this far, is to look at the inverse of focus for you. What distracts you and how can you eliminate those things so you can become more productive, create more hours in the day, essentially, have more time, whether it's for work, for your family, for anything at all, for yourself, but create more time by eliminating distractions. I'll see you in the next video, my friends.